It began with Brittany Higgins and her revelations of what took place in this very building. I need women to stand with me as we go about this. As we stand together, I need them to stand in this place. I need them to stand right where they are. Now, forgive me the indulgence. Forgive me this indulgence. I want women to have at least the same opportunities and the same voice and the same safety as men in this country.
Actually, Prime Minister, the women of Australia may not forgive you this indulgence. Those women may be wondering what exactly the Prime Minister has been doing for the past month and what sick culture has been allowed to develop within the government and within Parliament House under his watch as Prime Minister since 2018. Suddenly, the enormity of the political trouble the Prime Minister is in, the sense of crisis and paralysis, the unravelling of too clever political management, and of course a masturbatory offence against a piece of furniture, seem to have finally, if briefly, prompted Scott Morrison today to engage all those skills learned in his taxpayer-funded empathy training.
Criticise me, if you like, for speaking about my daughters, but they are the centre of my life. My wife is the centre of my life. My mother, my widowed mother, is the centre of my life. They motivate me every day on this issue.
The whole empathy thing turned out to only go so far, however, with Scott Morrison going in the blink of an eye into full attack mode, trying to turn the horror show he has ruled over for the past month back on the media.
Right now, you'd be aware, in your own organisation, that there is a person who has had a complaint made against them for harassment of a woman in a women's toilet. And that matter is being pursued by your own HR department. So let's not, all of us who sit in glass houses here, start getting into that.
News Corp released a statement late this afternoon saying the Prime Minister was wrong to make this claim, saying no such complaint had been made. The PM's statement, the company said, was, quote, simply untrue, and it undermined the principle that people must be able to raise issues safely and in confidence. Let's recap what we have learned since that day a month ago when the story first broke that a young woman had allegedly been raped in Parliament House exactly 2 years ago today. We have learned that the story of what happened in the wake of the alleged assault, starting with the sacking of the alleged perpetrator for a security breach, has been seriously and repeatedly challenged. We have learned of historical rape allegations involving the country's first law officer. We have learned of a culture in Parliament House where building staff understand that they are not to make it their business when they find a naked, intoxicated young woman in an office once they have established she is still breathing. And within the coalition itself, there still seems an inability to completely confront what is happening, even among female MPs.
What do you think when you see things like that committed on the desk of a female MP?
Look, I was absolutely horrified when I saw that last night. In saying that, the young fellow concerned, you know, he was a really good worker and he loved the place, and I feel bad for him about this.
Yesterday, the opposition and crossbenchers were using estimates hearings to question how authorities handled the alleged rape of Brittany Higgins inside Parliament House.
Labor and the Greens have had the majority of the time.
Estimates has been for 1 hour and 20 minutes, and excluding interjections, Labor's had 17 minutes of that time.
I'd hate to think that you were trying to inhibit people from asking questions.
The bad behaviour in Parliament House is directly linked to an apparent disregard for accountability that the Prime Minister has repeatedly shown in the way he has dealt with his ministers. That Angus Taylor's office used altered documents to discredit another politician, yet the Minister faced no disciplinary action, was just the start of the problem. The list of walking wounded in Scott Morrison's ministry is staggering. In different ways, the actions of Christian Porter, Peter Dutton, Linda Reynolds, Alan Tudge, Michaelia Cash, Stuart Robert and Michael Sukkar have all been brought into question. The Minister for Women, Marise Payne, has been conspicuously absent from the debate about the treatment of women in the past month. But that long list now includes the Prime Minister himself, accused of what would have once been regarded as a sin that would compel a resignation, misleading the Parliament.
He has not provided me with a further update about when I might expect that report, but I have no doubt the opposition will be able to ask questions of him in Senate estimates next week.
But the head of the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet, Phil Gaetjens, refused to answer questions in Senate estimates yesterday, instead revealing that he had actually told the PM on March 9 that he had paused his inquiry into who knew what in the PM's office about the Higgins assault.
Why did the Prime Minister mislead the House?
Because I have not, Mr Speaker. And the Leader of the Opposition says end quote, but it wasn't the end of the quote, was it? Because I said he has not provided me with a further update about when I might expect that report, Mr Speaker. And he did not, Mr
Members
Speaker.
on both sides.
And he did not. He did not give me a date or a timing, Mr Speaker, about when that report would be provided, Mr Speaker.
One interesting development today, which perhaps reflects the growing pressure on the PM, is a change of tune about the Attorney-General.
As I indicated, I was getting advice from the Solicitor-General. I've received that advice and I'm now taking advice through the department regarding how that sits with the ministerial standards and I'll be making further decisions on that matter.
Ministerial standards. This is a significant change from the PM's original statement that the Solicitor-General was only advising on what areas of the Attorney-General's responsibilities might be affected by his defamation action against the ABC. Then there is what we may now call the Solo Sex Act and the desk incident, and other allegations aired on the 10 network last night that male prostitutes were brought into Parliament House for government MPs, including a minister.
It is just absolutely shameful. I was completely stunned, as I have been on more than one occasion over the course of this last month.
Clearly there is a cultural issue in this place and much more work needs to be done, and I think what we saw from the Prime Minister today was a Prime Minister in distress. We all feel this distress.
Russell Broadbent is a veteran Liberal MP, first elected in 1990.
This place, to me, is a reflection of the whole of the national psyche. And I say, what has changed with the national psyche that allows this type of behaviour to be seen as normal? Normal? I mean, Australia must be disgusted with us at the moment. It's just so embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. I mean, and the young women working in my office in Warragul, their parents must be saying, then what have you got yourselves into here?
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.